Gamification. There are many things that can be said about it. It makes things like studying, working out, learning about other people, and many other parts of life much easier. There is no level of life that has not been affected by gamification, in most cases for the better. When watching the movie The Hunger Games, you could see something that could be considered strange happening. The government is effectively using gamification to oppress the people of its own nation. The random drawing of names and the fight to the death keeps people in constant fear of the government. Now, some people may believe that it is impossible for government to oppress its own citizens through using gamification, but one only needs to look towards Communist China and their current social credit system for a counter to that point of view. Gamification has become a common tool to help people understand topics or ideas. Even at a young age, we may experience gamification in school, where teachers use games to make learning more enjoyable. For example, during the first week of the school year, teachers would often use games to help learn each other's names, as well as getting familiar with the class. Without realizing it, we were being introduced to gamification. Gamification is not only used in schools, but in other environments as well, such as online learning platforms like Quizlet, where users can earn points while studying. During the Quizlet Learn section, users can earn points while playing games to help them memorize information. Similarly, language learning apps like Duolingo heavily use gamification to both attract users to the game as well as help them learn a new language. If we take a closer look at the apps and websites we use on a daily basis, we may be surprised by how many of them use gamification. Using game-like elements in learning situations makes the process much more enjoyable, as well as helps us retain the information better. However, it is also important to note that gamification can also be used to maintain power of people. And some individuals or organizations may use gamification to manipulate behavior or reinforce harmful ideologies. When watching the movie The Hunger Games, you see a truly dystopian society where most of the population lives in complete poverty under the oppressive boot of a completely authoritarian government. There are many ways the government keeps people of Pan Am, the country where The Hunger Games takes place, under complete control of the government. They divide and separate the people of their nation and keep them under constant surveillance, and use gamification to keep them under constant fear that they or their kids will be drafted into the Hunger Games and most likely die in combat. There are a few ways the Hunger Games uses gamification to oppress the people and keep them in fear. Even the president of Pan Am says that the only reason the Hunger Games are around is to give the people of districts both hope and fear in a game-like fashion. The fact that the government can just take away one of the citizens' children and force them to fight to the death against other children shows that the government has near unstoppable power, and that anyone who tries to fight against it is foolish. One of the key elements of the Hunger Games is the idea of reward and punishment, where the winner of the Hunger Games gets wealth, fame, and almost anything they could ever ask for. The loser finds nothing except for death. This is another way the government tries to show its power over the people of Pan Am, showing that all those who work with the government and try to support it will be treated well and gain rewards, while those who go against the government will only find suffering and death, as well as enforcing a hierarchy where winners, such as the winners of the game and the capital, are on top of the pyramid, and losers of the game and people who live in poor districts are losers on the bottom. For most cultures, murder would not be a game, but for the people in the Hunger Games, much like ancient Rome and their gladiatorial games and their races, murder has turned into one. They do this in multiple different ways. The main way is through turning it into a competition, allowing gambling, and having large amounts of fanfare and often glorifying the tributes. These are a few of the ways that make the Hunger Games feel more like a game than murder. Another element of gamification in the Hunger Games is the use of rules and regulation. This is seen both inside and outside the game and the world. The characters who live by are governed by a strict set of rules that must be followed at all times. The players and the citizens of Pan Am are closely monitored as well by the game's organizers and the government, which enforces the rules strictly and violently and punishes anyone who violates those. structure and order that is familiar to anyone who's ever played a game before. When watching the movie, the scene I feel that shows gamification is the one where the draw happens. This is more or less glorifying death in an organized and gimmick fashion, in front of a massive audience. Because for most of the districts, winning the lottery is death. And by making the draw random, they're saying that no one is safe from the government. One might think that it's impossible for a government to use gamification in the way that it's used in lottery games. But there have been many examples, both in the present and the past, that refute that statement. In the communist dictatorship of China, there has always been oppression committed by the government, all-powerful government, much like the Hunger Games. From the Great Leap Forward to the Cultural Revolution, the communist government has tried many things to prevent its citizens from exercising their basic human rights. One of the most recent attempts is strangely similar to some of the apps that use gamification: the social credit system. The social credit system is designed to evaluate citizens' trustworthiness based on behavior in various aspects of life, such as financial responsibility, social behavior, and personal habits. The system is run by the government, which collects data from various sources, including financial institutions, social media platforms, and surveillance cameras. The system assigns a credit score to individuals and businesses ranging from 350 to 950 based on behavior. A high score, or winning the game, indicates that individual is trustworthy, an individual or business is trustworthy, while a low score indicates that they are not. The score determines various aspects of a person's life, such as access to credit, job opportunities, even ability to travel. And if a person's score drops enough, they could even find themselves in jail. Much like an evil version of Duolingo or Quizlet, this is the worst of gamification. While there is much good that comes from gamification, we as a society must understand that what can be used for good could also be used for evil.
Thank you for watching.